So, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Goto 10. And welcome to the people out in cyberspace. My name is Christopher Cameron. I work at Linköping Science Park, but I also work here at Goto 10. How many have been here before? Good, then I will do it really short. Goto 10 is a meeting place. You can come here if you don't like your colleagues. You could come here and work from here, and then you don't need to be at the same office as your colleagues. If you like your colleagues, you can bring your colleagues. We have a meeting room, a pod studio, and we have 55 places where you can sit and work. And I know many of you here today actually use them sometimes. It's a free place. It's run by the Internetstiftelsen, or what we also call it, the Internet Foundation. But I'll not go into detail with that today. What I will say is, please help us promote this place. It's a free place. Just tell your colleague to come here, or maybe you have a son there studying in Leo, or you have a daughter going in high school or something like that, and they need a place to study. Please bring them here. We'll take care of them and try to see if we can get a little more events in the fall than we had here in the spring. Today we'll talk a little bit about AI, I think. Yeah. Probably a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. And I just want to highlight that in Linköping Science Park we actually have a really good guy called Oscar. He couldn't be here today. He had a child sick at home, but he wanted to be here to just let you know that in Linköping Science Park we work with AI across different platforms. Everything from cybersecurity to IoT and many other things. So if you want to know what we are doing to put the innovation into the AI here in the region, just reach out to Oscar on the website and come to me afterwards. Then I will connect you to so we can do some more innovation here in Linköping. But that was all for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Ericsson is on stage. Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, and this works. Yeah, I'm just checking my own voice, but it's good. Before I start, because what I'm trying to do is to speak about 3 and 4 year of AI journey, but how to tweak my talk. I would like to see how many people currently are involved in AI or machine learning or data science, or can I see so that I can, yeah. So in that way it will help me to how much deep I go with this. We start. I come to know that this is the year's biggest crowd until now, and we are in May, so I'll keep track until December. So it's a self-claimed privilege. My name is Azeem Ahmad, and I have a Ph.D. and postdoc with software testing and AI with Linköping University. Then I worked at Volvo Trucks, Gothenburg. Then I joined Ericsson, worked on inner source and AI. The idea is to literally develop something and deploy it so the developers can use it. And what we are going to talk about it today, because there are a lot. I mean, it's really a revolutionary and developing field. Every day you wake up, you find something. Someone bought something, someone released a new version. So we will see that what can we do. But what I'm thinking right now, that once you leave here, you at least have, if you are planning to do something with AI in your company, you at least have some sort of takeaways. You know that, okay, I need to do this, or maybe I don't need to do this. So I will try to create some sort of takeaways that can tell you, okay, yeah, this is something we should pay attention, because along the way, at the end, after 4 or 5 months, it's gonna hit back. And then we will have nothing in that direction. So we will see in that. So the agenda is, we'll talk about the first step towards AI adoption, because we at Ericsson, we are working with large language model, we are working with AI, we are working with machine learning, we are working very different, because it's a very bigger field. I won't go for that bigger thing where you have AI, then ML, then LLMs, but we'll talk about what is the, if you are wondering, where do I start? What's the first step? Well, I'll talk about some of my personal experiences over these 3 years that we have worked with AI, and we have come very far. We'll talk about AI in and around the product. I'm sure that most of you would be working with some product, embedded system, some business product. So we could see that what could go in, what could go around, but mostly we'll talk about what's go around, because people are different. They are from different businesses. We cannot focus in the product. Everyone has a different product. But around the product, where do we use AI? I think you will agree with me at the end that we have similar use cases. We'll talk about sorry, the experiences with using a large language model, not only fine-tuning our own large language model, also use some commercials like Codium and other, and also some intelligent test case selection, prioritization. We'll talk about it. Some speed bumps. I think this is the part where if you are sleeping all with the above, but wake up here, because this is something I feel that is good here. And then my personal top 3 recommendation. If I have to go back 3 years, what would I do? So that's something I would share with you. And then I will dedicate, I'm thinking, since we have an AI crowd, some question and answer session, maybe more question and answer session at the end. The first step towards AI, and I mean, when I joined Ericsson, I literally found in different presentation that Ericsson is indeed a leadership when it comes to technology and telecommunication and many different parts. It's so big. I mean, I'm in a small part. When I go to presentation, I say I'm not in Ericsson, I'm in Ericsson, Linköping, and this part. So we got so big. So Ericsson has come so far because Ericsson has tried experimentation. They gets their hands dirty. Ericsson allow employees to, okay, you want to do that, go ahead, do it, and learn from it. You make a mistake, you change, you put resources. And this is a real attitude of the Ericsson have towards AI for recent years, that what are the use cases? Where can we apply AI? Where are the business cases? How can we gain efficiency? Should we do something in the product? Should we do something around the product? So I would say that the first thing is about your attitude towards an AI. You need to do something. I mean, one way is to just absorb the knowledge. Okay, AI is happening. Machine learning is happening. The other way is to take a step back and see, okay, I do these tasks every day. And they could be very simple: to localize the failure, to bisecting the commit, to run the right test cases, to find anomaly in the communication happening between 2 components. So we need to see, and Ericsson has been taken these measures over many years, that let's do this, let's learn from it. And I would tell you the stories along the way that it has happened to us, that our 8 months of work just destroyed because we learned that we were using Spark and now we need to use TensorFlow. A simple change in a library or a programming language, we realized that, okay guys, Spark is not going to help us because we have these reasons. We have a different infrastructure, we have an AI ML cluster, now we need to move to TensorFlow. Okay, all the work has been gone, we are rewriting our code. So these are the things that require us to take a step back, develop an attitude, and plan. And of course, you can do a lot in the product. Like I said, I won't talk. That could be confidential, that could be business values, and each one has a different product. So you could look into it, okay, how can my product have an AI that can be, make our product better in terms of competitor, make the latency and performance increase, but something around the product, because of course people are working for the product. You write commits, you write source code, you test them, you deploy them, then you have operations, then you have TRs, then you have visualization, then you have communication happening between components. So this is the part that we all share because we are working with the product, and these things could be a lot. For example, one of the work that we're going to talk about is intelligent test case selection. And trust me, it's been 20 years, literally 20 years. If you go to IEEE or ACM and you search prioritized test case intelligently, you will see a lot of literature. They are starting with the fuzzy logic, greedy algorithm, all those, and now they're moving to the AI. And the whole idea is that, I was talking to Samuel when I was coming, that I have 5,000 test cases that I run whenever we change something. And most of the, I don't know if you agree with me, that most of the time the test cases are not mapped to the source code. You don't have a clear mapping. People tend to write more test cases and more test cases, and they grow up. So now you need to see that if I make one comment in my source code, I'm running all those 5,000 test cases. And then some of these test cases could be irrelevant. Feedback time can be increased. And then still, in the nightly run, I run everything on everything. Here, we need a mechanism that if I'm going for a lunch as a developer and I have 1 hour, I have a commit. I tell the AI model that this is the commit. I change a.file, whatever. Please recommend me the prioritized test cases that I can run within the 1 hour. So when I come back, I have initial level of confidence on my commit. And then you have other flows. You have multi-component testing, you have system testing, you have acceptance testing, you have unit testing. So by putting this somewhere, you can reduce test executions which are irrelevant. Because there's a possibility you change this part of the code, but you are running all the test cases that doesn't even execute on the source code. Then why do we do that? So intelligent test case selection using an AI, we have come afar from this in that scenario. Smart allocation, of course, you might have hardwares. You might have some sort of pooling of the hardware. You always fight for hardwares, or I just remember the name in the Ericsson, but I don't want to say it. The only thing I come with hardware or simulator or anything. So everyone is fighting, you know, I want this for my testing, I want that for my testing. And even if they get it, they don't need to use all those hardware because they are making a small change. That small change that they did today could be executed only one hardware. I remember I was working with one of the company before. They have cameras, and everyone was fighting with the cameras that are expensive. So then here we need, okay, how can we utilize that? If I make a change, a small part of the code, what cameras are mostly providing me a bigger coverage? So I don't need to run my test cases on all the hardware. I can select smartly. And then of course, you can do this smart decision keeping that you have in the night all the testing. Because of course, you can't just trust this dynamic or intelligent. You need to have a defensive mechanism in the night where you're testing everything on everything. And if something fails in the night, you can always go back and see why my AI model is not working. Automated fault classification. I have noticed in the companies that I have worked that people are spending 8 to 10 hours mostly every day. When they come in the morning and they see failure in the night, they look at the log files, what failed. They claim the failure. They provide the justification of the failure. They look at the log files, what goes wrong. Sometimes they just rerun test cases 20 times to make sure, okay, there's nothing, I just rerun it 20 times. If it is passes, I will not do anything. Sometimes they bisect, they find, okay, which commit introduced the error. So this is the work that could be advancedly automated and use an AI that at least give a heads up to the developer next day. Okay, I have already rerun this test case 20 times. It passed, so ignore it. There are 7 commits between 2 versions that we are testing. This was the 7th commit that introduced the error. Look into it. Maybe you add a test cases that you just rerunning it. So this is something we use in automated fault classification. Flaky test detection. I don't know. Have you heard the flaky test? This is the annoyed thing happening in last 4 years. People are getting a white. So I run all the test cases tonight. Everything is green. I release it. Tomorrow I just rerun and 5 test cases are failing. And now I'm worried. Did I make a right decision to release it? Why they are failing? I dig deep into the log file and I just find out that maybe network was down. Maybe the test case ran in a different order. Maybe external dependency were down. Maybe it's an infrastructure folder. So I just spent 8, 6, 5 hours to find out that ignore it. And the more flaky tests happening, you're losing a confidence in a test suite. Is my test suite right? Everything passes today, I change nothing, and everything is failing tomorrow. What's happening? So this is a really annoyed problem. And here, we can put some detection. Because this is, if we say technically, the flaky test is always comes to the test smell, like thread.sleep, 3 seconds. And the thing that you are waiting came in 5 seconds. Try to read a file without making sure that the file exists or not. So if the file exists, test case pass. If it doesn't exist, test case fail. So there are a list of reasons which could be analyzed through static analysis. And we have done this experiment with many developers that they have a test review process. But the test review process doesn't contain guidelines whether this test case is flaky or not. because you can stop it. So here we can talk about prediction, detection, and I don't know, frankly speaking, it could be a bold claim, but at this moment, in all the IT industry, the only way to find the flaky tests is just by rerunning them. And if someone has another option, please talk to me, literally. Only way you see something is passing yesterday and you come today, it's failing, you only rerun it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, and if it passes, you say just ignore it. This is not a big fault. So the rerunning is the only approach. And statistics says in different companies, if you read, it has been delayed because you have to rerun all the test cases. You can't release it. You are losing a confidence in it. Housekeeping of test sets, redundant test cases. I mean, now I'm mostly somehow slipped into use cases of AI, but I will jump it. Test case generation. I mean, of course, if we are testers here, we will agree that we tend to copy paste a test case code. We write redundant test cases. I don't know, when I was a tester, I just check, do I have a test case already written I need to modify? Or I tend to write more test cases and more test cases. And that could be a boring stuff. So we are working with test case generation. So you have a source code, let's generate a test case through the large language model, which we fine-tuned on our own repos. And how do we know this test case is good? Does it compile? Yes. Does it provide the 100% code coverage of the unit tests? Yes. Does it reveal the fault? Is it maintainable? Is it readable? All those non-quality attributes that we can have. So something of the test case generation. And then we have, I usually call it AI for testing and testing for AI. What I have talked about is all about AI for testing. You are using AI to test a traditional product. If you have an AI product, AI algorithm, AI something, you can't use traditional testing techniques there, because here the nature of the AI product is undeterministic. You can't reproduce the output. It's completely based on random decision. So how would you write test cases traditional to test the AI product? And that's a completely different world, that how do I test my AI product? But if we see that what's the point of here is speed bumps. So all those things that we have done, we have come afar in Ericsson. Some of, I mean, 3 or 4 that I have personally been part of it, driving it, working in it. Some of there we have a meeting. I could share the speed bumps, something to look forward. If we have manager here, it's good. If we have people on the developer and engineering side, it's good for them too. So I kept some funny things here, blueprint before breaks. The idea is that should the manager or the higher authority comes to you and say, hey, we need AI, go ahead. Or should the engineer or a developer take a step that, okay, I do test cases, I do bisecting of the commit, I write PowerPoint slides, I generate test case, let's do a proof of concept and find out the business value. Am I saving a time? And it's not a rocket science with the AI. You have built-in libraries. The only thing is you need to have a data, you run this experiment, you have a business value, you know how much time you are saving, you give that proof of concept to some of your friends. Can you use it? And he uses it in his daily work, and then he gives you feedback, and then you discuss it, or you bring it up. So what I have seen that in many companies, both are working. I still remember few people that started 1.5 years ago collecting use cases on AI. And I still know that they are just doing PowerPoint. We have AI use cases, we have Edison. And I have seen people, enthusiastic engineers, they have done a proof of concept, they bring it up, they say, this is what we are saving, this is the current situation look like. If we do this, we can save this much time, this much infrastructure, faster feedback, and then you get resources to implement it. So my recommendation is that top bottom is the one, because it's a big bureaucracy with the, well, I wanted to say more things, but I see 2 senior managers from Ericsson sitting here. So I'm not gonna go in that direction with the bureaucracy and management, but it's everywhere. I mean, it takes a lot to come for resources. So what I have done it literally, if I go 2.5 years back, me and my friend Dimitris, he's not here, we did the proof of concept with intelligent test case selection. We collected the data. I still remember script is running for 7 days because we're collecting 11 million test execution. We just wrote a Python script. Saturday, Sunday, we are looking, okay, it is working. once the data is collected over 4 months, because we need to get the data from Garrett, and we somehow loaded the Garrett, then they send an email, hey, why are you running queries for like 3 hours on our Garrett? So once we have the data, it's just like 1 month work to do an AI and to find out how many test cases are relevant, how many time we saved if we run an AI model, and how much time it's taken to the real our pipeline. We did that, we presented it to the manager, then it goes up, and then they said, go ahead, deploy it, make a product. And now we see many people working on it, so that deploying it all over the Ericsson in that case. So I would say, if you feel that there is a use case in AI, start from here, start doing it, get the business case, get the statistic, and ask your friend to use it, and then go up. But then again, this is something if you are enthusiastic. Another perspective, you do hire AI gurus. Again, like I said, that they are just working. We need a framework. We need an AI framework. We need all the AI use cases in the company. Given the size of the company, you can do that because people are different. Some are working on unit tests, component tests, multi-component tests, system tests, regression tests. You have testing with the hardware. You're talking to the customer. I mean, cataloging or writing down the needs of the AI is one thing that might take 1 hour, a year, or 2 years, or you just too late. We also see that, I mean, I have seen cases where there are enthusiastic people in each company. They are very visionary. So they say, okay, this is the framework. It's gonna be valid for 10 years. But okay, can we implement it? No. First, we are building, because when you make something for next 10 years, you need to account a lot of things, a lot of variable, how technology is changing, how everything is changing, and then it's a never-ending work. You always keep adding things, and you realize, oh, now we are I mean, in one of the, I had a meeting today, and we are almost about to release an AI product in Ericsson, and the production team said that, do you know we are changing to containerization? We don't have this now. We are changing the whole down infrastructure to now containers. So I said, okay, no, we haven't thought about that. They said, we are releasing it in summer. So our whole data collection pipeline needs to be changed, because there is a change happening on the bigger side. So this is not the right way. Again, start from the bottom. Now, something for you guys. You have listened to me enough. If you go to Menti and use this code, I would like to see what do you think, because that's another perspective I'm going to talk about. What's your current emotion about using AI in your day-to-day work? So let's see. I am hoping that, yes, so go to menti.com, use this, and if I can see, I'm trying, yeah, it's here. I'm connecting my internet. Yeah, I'm bringing that. I'm okay. The code. Let's see if this is better. Yeah. What do you think, guys? Or maybe I can do this. Does it work? It's 2.6. No, I can't. It's a long one. Well, if someone goes here, I go here. I mean, yeah, and I didn't have a chance to have it because I came. So it's lying there. So looking forward to it. Yeah, I can see that a lot. Do that. Yeah. So okay, I agree. I would say these are the biased result, because you all are working in AI, and you are here because of reason you want to do something. Trust me, I have met people that they say, why are we doing that? We don't agree AI can replace human. Oh no, this is a, sorry, bullshit. This is waste of time. And then that's another challenge. What? Bring the people of the same mind into the team. Those who wants to bring you up in that. And this is not, I'm now, okay, so when I'm talking right now, I'm not talking about the experience at the Ericsson only. Like I told you that I have worked with companies before that. So it's an overall experience. So I'm not targeting people. But even in your friend circle, you go in the evening, you say, I'm doing this. Or a developer that you meet over somewhere, they say, oh no, no, AI won't do that. Because they are very they're reserved. They say that no, I own my product. I tested it on my way. If I take a step out, everything will break, and then I'm the responsible one. So they are kind of raising it to a child, those who are working with the product or a flow, and they are very scared that, oh no, AI, no. Oh, I don't know. It's a fear of unknown, I would say it. So this is another perspective. So if you really want to do something, then you should bring people who have a same minded, like we are here. And everyone said excited or curious about it. But if I ran it somewhere else, I would see people skeptical. So this is another perspective that you need to think when you're working on it. Yes, so we saw that. Yes. Now, literally, I mean, I can talk about it a year, not a year, 7 hours, data. And I was thinking that, I did experiment. I said, I use the ChatGPT to generate this. I said, put the data in the middle and create all words that you can create around it. And I noticed that it's all valid. Data labeling, data collection, data privacy, data quality, data integration, data structure, data analysis. So what I'm trying to say that it is everything. I have attended presentation where someone said, we want to use AI. Okay, how many test cases do you have? 50. Then why do you want AI there? You don't need it. Oh, I want an AI. Okay, do you have a data set? No, we don't have a data set. Can we collect the data set? No, because it's on many different sources. Do you have a documentation? No, we believe in agile, so we don't have a documentation. This is an important part. If you don't have that, trust me, you don't have an AI, literally. So the first step, if I have to go home and do an AI, I would say have a data, enough data. And I can tell you again back that why we call Ericsson as leadership. Last year in October, we realized that we have a very good use case of AI, but we don't have a data. What we did, we wrote a script to collect the data. So since last October, we're just collecting data every night because the type of data, it's available, but it's not stored. So we are getting that data. We have a pipeline running. We are collecting that data. And trust me, we started with, let's say, number 2. Now we are on the 700. And perhaps we will keep collecting the data next year because it's a very good use case. So sometimes you have a data, sometimes you don't have a data. Sometimes you have a data, but on different sources. Sometimes you know what sources are, but you can't translate it because the data is produced by different team, production team. They have their own understanding. They have their own numbers, 2 to 6. Okay, what does 2 to 6 mean? Okay, this is this flow. Once you know where the data is, then you need to collect it. So you collect one data from here, you collect another data from here, and you map it. For example, nothing confidential. We have test execution. Everyone save test execution, is right? Text execution, like test case, test suite, and pass or fail. Do you map it to a Garrett commit message? Or what has been changed in that test execution? No one does that. Everyone store test execution. Everyone store when the test start, what was the test suite, what was the test case, whether fail, which software I ran on, what was the hardware, everything. But they never put, what did I change in a commit? Because it's in Garrett, everyone believe. In the intelligent test case selection, we needed to map it. So we have 10,000 test execution every night. You need to map it to the Garrett. That's another challenge in that case. So no one saves the data that, oh, I need a data lake in 10 years, so let's put the data. Then you label it. Then you clean it. You balance it. So, we, in some of the places where we are doing AI, literally 10 months of the work just for data collection. Understanding where the data is stored. How can I have it? How can I clean it? How can I balance it? How can I label it? How, and then this is one part. Then you have a whole visualization. We do have visualization where we look at today's data quality is this. Yesterday data quality is this. What's happening? So this is something you should start with. Oh my God. Now, I mean, it's changing from ML flows to Kubeflow to Kubernetes to Dockers to libraries. I mean, and literally AI is as powerful as you have a structure. And this is about the money now. You know, you need to have GPUs if you're running LLMs. You can't put your confidential data onto Google Colab. And it's not as simple as buying GPUs. You need a team that manage nodes, provide. When we had it a few years back, everything is breaking. So rather than doing the AI stuff, we are working with the clusters. We are working with the technologies. We are, like I said, the Spark and all those TensorFlow. This is something which really stop you. I mean, I really consider it, when we are trying to find the skeptical people, this is something which will say, okay, no, you can't have a hardware. And even if you have a hardware, you have a person, then you don't know people who are doing this technology. And I work at Linköping University. I could say that 4 years before, no one teaching them these AI technologies. I mean, they don't have in the I have been taking classes there, teaching classes there. So if you look at their course outlines, you won't see these things, array clusters. You see Kubernetes, but you won't see that they are doing a lot of things here in the array as a cluster. So this is something we really thought about it a few years back. Should I consider about the business case? Should I focus on the data collection? Should I understand how the infrastructure work? Should I put effort to troubleshoot if something is going on in the infrastructure? Should I define the pipeline? So it's hard, and I don't have an answer for this, trust me. Until now, things are breaking. Yesterday something broke, and we had no idea. Then because we're learning along the way. It's a new technology. Every day new things are coming. This is something, and my wife usually she's recommending me to use sunscreen. So I thought this is good to go there. Yeah, I'm wearing it today. So yeah, I mean, people leave the company, of course, is right, and you make a lot of decisions about it. So if you have built a competence, if someone has built a competence, you need to document it, because trust me, in AI, you are doing so many small decisions with when it comes to data, when it comes to variables, storing memory. Do I store the data here? Do I store the data there? Do I label it? Documentation, and that's my personal experience. I mean, now what I have learned, and I have decided to myself 2 months ago, that everything in AI, I'm gonna document it. Okay, guys, why are we using Spark and not TensorFlow? Because that's the personal choice. Okay, because of this. Okay, guys, why did you decide to go for random forest, not neural network? You can't say, I thought it's fine. No, you need to have a justification for that. Okay, guys, why are you using TF, IDF for features? Now this is something very detailed. Either you say because I think, or you have something. Okay, guys, we have a data, 5% failure, 95% passing. Suddenly, I did a lot of magic, and now the failure rate increased. Okay, what did I do here? My code works, but we need to document it so someone can build upon it. Because, trust me, if you build your data lake, you can use 10 different AI initiatives on the same data set. You can do a data-driven decision making. So do it in a right way. Visualization. You can't have an AI without visualization. You can have any other product. You can have a feeling that product is working. It's doing the functional requirements. You can test it. You can see, you can run the product and see, yeah, it does what it's supposed to do. But for AI, you need visualization. Why? Okay, everything was good. Predictions were good. Generation was good. Suddenly, things are going wrong. Where do I look? It's a data lake. It's an AI infrastructure. is it data sources are something wrong? Because it might be happening that you have a many big failure rate today, but the product has matured after 7 months. Now you don't have a failure rate because people tend to write good test cases, good code. And if you don't have a failure rate, your AI is not valid there. So these things, either you dig deep on each part, or you have this visualization. And we have dedicated people working on visualization. Every time a board, okay, what is the accuracy? Today the precision was 95, yesterday 98. Okay, what goes wrong there? Okay, let's go back to the data collection. Data collection has this. Okay, what goes wrong? Let's go back to the data sources. So it's a traceability. Otherwise you won't be able to optimize it. So visualization is very. Now, before we are about to conclude, one more Mentimeter, promise this is the last. What do you think? And I bring this. Yeah, I'm so much into AI, I don't see this graph, I see data collection. So I can use it in my next slide somewhere I'm talking that what does AI enthusiastic people think. So that's how you see everything, data. Yeah, and then data collection has a 9 part. I absolutely agree with. So if I have to say 3 based on the statistics, AI is all about statistics. Yeah, data collection, and then infrastructure, and then monitoring after deployment. You have where to start? Well, if I will move to my 3 recommendations. So it's not here because I have been here for 4 years, so I know where to start. But I agree with you in that where to start. But so data collection, infrastructure, and monitoring. Last slide is data collection, infrastructure, and monitoring. Yes, data. This is the data. This is where to start. And monitoring and experiment. I mean, yeah, I should have done it a better job. I was just being funny here. So throw ideas at the model and see what sticks, which means where do I start? Just start doing it. Throw it. See, collect the data, do the small experiment, and then learn. So if you want to do today something in AI, go. Think about your daily work. Do I label the fault? Do I just write the test cases? Do I just write a source code so I can have a defect prediction? Am I in the CI machine ring and I want to see the trend? How many faults are appearing? Am I a test manager? Can I see that test case 5 never failed in last 8 months? Then why do I have it? Or whenever test case 8 fail, test case 6 fail, because you see that. Is there a dependency between them? So all those things, start with it. Your model is only smart as the mess, the data you feed it, data collection. And I mean, this is my look into it. Because even if you start today, trust me, it's an 8-month journey from today to understand the data, to collect it, to refine it, to label it, to put it somewhere in the S3 bucket and get the license and get the authorization, whatever. So that's the second thing you should think about it. Where is the data? Do I have a data? Because if you don't have a data, you don't have an AI case, frankly. I myself has seen topics rejected. Okay, yeah, very good use case. Do you have a data? No. Then come back after 6 months when you have a data. Because you don't have a data, you don't have an AI. And then if you can't rerun it, you are not experimenting, you are just guessing. So reproducibility. So one thing that is different of my presentation is that a lot of proof of concept that I have done, when it goes to productification, people come and ask, how did you do it? Did you really do it? I don't trust you. So, I mean, on a funny way, they don't. Yeah, said, wait a few seconds if it happens. Yeah. So they don't say that, but reproducibility, because they want to know what did you do, where your data was coming, what was the parameter you played with, what was the statistic you gathered, how did you gather it, because they are going to productify it. They need to learn from your lesson. Few of my proof of concept, there was no data. They said, can I have a file? No, I'm sorry, I just deleted it. Can I have a script that I can learn from? No, I don't have it. But then we started building this thing that can be reused. So do that. If you are experimenting, keep it safe. Why? Because if someone is interested in it and he is easily reproduce it, you get more chances to make it success. Rather than if he has to think, oh, I have to do it everything from the beginning, then it's more or less chance. Yes, so this was, I don't know what use cases of AI or my personal experience, but I derailed somewhere. But this is what, yeah, you have to bear. We take questions if you have any. Or you want to say
First of
something?
all, thank you very much. I'll just check.
No, I
your
got the thank
Yeah.
you without this.
Yeah. So a big round of applause.
Yeah, thank you.
So-
Thank you very much.
So, and we will do questions. You're not leaving without any
Yeah, it's
question.
fine. Yeah.
So we'll pass on the microphone. So if you have a question, stay with the microphone. When there is a new question, you can move it along. Who is the first one?
And I just told him the first one is the hard one. Then everyone ask. So anyway,
Okay. But
you
then-
go ahead. Then maybe.
Then I will start with one. Okay, so I'll reframe this question a bit a special way. So the first question it is, what question do you think, as an AI expert, as you are,
Mhm.
I should ask you?
That's a very good question.
What are we missing? The people that are not really.
I think if you would have asked this, that so if I'm the audience, I will say that my job is not to work with AI. I am a developer. I get the feature, I do that 100%, and I go home. How can I fit AI here? Because I need more time to learn about it. And as I have scared you, it seems like a 20-35% of your daily task. So how do I balance between my daily work that I am getting paid and this optimization? So that's something people do struggle. And a lot of people, I would say, they don't go into that direction because they say it's not my problem. We need to hire AI people. We need to build AI competence. So if that's the question, then I might have answered about it in this way, which I have applied to myself, that we need to build AI competence, because I am not in favor of AI replacing jobs. No, it will never happen. But people with AI competence would be needed, because we can't have. I saw this Death Robot and something series on Netflix, and it has a episode with smart appliances, stupid people, and it's a very funny look at it. This episode. So we can't have smart products and people who doesn't have a knowledge, because they have to operate on those. So although if your day-to-day work doesn't involve AI, building an AI competence is important. Even to, and trust me, I have done that. I have seen that if you are a developer, but you have a 10% of AI competence, and we have a product that we need AI people, we bring them on board. Okay, can you learn that and then work with us? We give you 6 months. You have an interest. We need someone. So rather than hiring from abroad, please come and work with us. So that's something I would say.
Okay, thank you very much. Any new questions?
You see the second one. Thank you.
When you're talking about AI competence, what do you mean? Do you mean the person who we're liking person to use AI, or or the person to investigate the AI technology? Because as far as I know, we are using the AI APIs. I think just use it. So
No, when I say AI competence, I mean, now I agree, there could be many fields. You could be developing your competence on the AI infrastructure, like these array clusters, these nodes. How do we deploy nodes? How we handle, or you could be very good as a data scientist. That, okay, guys, I work on this flow, and we are producing a lot of data set. I'm taking a step to build a data lake, which could be used further. That's one way to go. Infrastructure is another way to go. The third is to, okay, what AI technologies are, like random forests, panda libraries, or these libraries, and you experiment. So this is something I have no answer. You need to see what you write. But all are valid and all are needed in that case. So it's not an end user. It's been getting your hands dirty. Infrastructure, I could clearly see. It's very likely that you build competence because you need to have a hardware. You need to deploy it. But I would see that with the data collection or with AI modules, fine-tuning large language model on Google Colab with the open source data, that you could do. Yeah,
Thank you.
infrastructure is hard. Here, yeah.
I wanted to ask about the data quality, as you mentioned, that is something which is very important. What does it mean by quality of the data?
Yeah, so data quality, the first thing could be that if I'm doing the intelligent test case selection, then this means that my AI model should be able to determine the pattern between the failed test cases and the code changes. So if those code changes come next time, the AI model knows that I want to propose these test cases because you changed this part. Now you are collecting all the data from your pipeline and you have a 0.5% failure and 99 point something percent passing rate. Now with this data quality, with a very big difference rate, AI model cannot determine the pattern because it doesn't have enough data. So the data quality is very low. Now either you are missing an important part in the pipeline, you are not collecting the right data, or the data is stored but you don't know in which form, in which database, in which label, in which category, in which activity, in which build number it is storing. So here the data quality is bad. The second thing is that in the data quality, we saw yesterday, we are getting each commit has a deleted code and added code. We know that, plus and minus. So we just made a decision yesterday that for our AI part, we don't need minus part. We don't want to include what developer has deleted. We want to include what he has added, because deleted and included, it's not syntax, it's semantic. There's a cognitive ability of a developer. Why did he delete something and add? So if we get both the things, we get the syntax, but we don't get the semantics. We don't get the cognitive ability of a developer. But if we only get the added part, we can at least make something. So this is one part of the quality of the data. Can I make a decision on data in that same? And it's similar that, let's say if I'm going for traveling somewhere in the city, so do I have a right map? Do I have enough energy to do? So that's what the data quality means. Yeah.
What's the difference between being a developer and being a user in this case?
Yeah, well, I was thinking, but it's good that. I mean, if I take this question in this context, then I would say we are all developers. So I'm a developer. I write source code and I want to run the test cases. So what I do is that I have a CLI command that run test cases, and I pass my commit ID, and I don't care what's happening behind. The CLI command runs and it does everything, and it just tell me that 5 test cases were executed, 5 were passed, good job. So this is a user perspective, because I'm just using the AI. I don't care what's happening. There is a whole AI model, AI infrastructure, data collected. I just ran a command as a developer. Run test cases hypothetically. This is my commit. I have 20 minutes. And then I get my results. So I'm a user. If I'd say a developer of AI, then someone sitting on the other side writing an AI code. He's saying that I get a commit, fetch something from the GitHub, fetch something from the test execution, retrain the model, deploy the Docker machine on the Kubernetes, that's all. So that could be one way to answer the question, where the user or the developer. The other perspective could be that the developer is user. I do the proof of concept because I am a developer and I use it myself. And I reiterate my approach. I change, I use, I change, I use. And when it is good, I ask my fellow developer to use it. So that's something I would say.
Mostly when I'm doing writing, write-ups, articles and so on. And then I feel sometimes this is not a good, it's something missing, I mean, in it. But then I have no chance. I have to wait for version, next version, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope that you work in a company which allows you to do experimentation. But we at Ericsson, we do that. I mean, okay, you want to do it, go ahead. But I agree with you. Sometimes you can't, you have to wait for it. Yeah.
We'll see. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we will actually cut it right here. I know they're sitting with a lot of more questions. They're just too shy.
Yeah.
So email away, or maybe you will stay for like 10 minutes.
I can do that.
And we can do a little one by one.
You are just 10 minutes more between me and my mess wrap.
Perfect. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you to all of you. We will see you in the fall.
Thank you very much.